What you see is part of an hour in so-called structural integration. Structural integration is a technique which aims at organizing, at ordering a body, at bringing muscles back into the place where they belong in terms of their theoretical order. The young man whom you see working is Bob Hines, a practitioner in structural integration, sometimes called Rolfing from the fact that it was developed by Ida P. Rolf, namely myself, and that this is part of a technique to make a person feel more effective, more efficient, to make him better organized, better coordinated, because he is in the gravitational field and accepting it and working in it and working with it instead of fighting it, as the average random body has to do. In structural integration, we expect to give a cycle of 10 sessions. There is a reason for this. We are not dealing with local problems. We are not dealing with the kind of thing that you can say, well, I fixed that, that's all. We are dealing with an attempt to make a body a sturdier human being, to make a body more secure, more adequate within the field of gravity. Now this requires that muscles be balanced. They need to be balanced around a vertical line. And when I talk about balancing muscles, I'm talking about balancing the right side against the left side, about balancing the front of the body against the back of the body, and finally about balancing the innermost muscles against the outermost muscles, the inside against the outside. This is the most important of those balances. And we start from the outside working in, and it takes us 10 hours before we can get to the place where we can really balance outside against inside.
Take this arm. Let it go. Now just let it fall. That's it. Let it fall. Catch once more. Just let it go. Doesn't want to move very well, does it?
No, it jerks its way around.
Have you injured this arm at some time?
Yeah, in junior high school at the age of 13 or 14, tumbling, broke a collarbone.
Bodies carry their history written within them. In the event of accidents, and sometimes quite minor accidents, little Johnny falls, and Mama looks him over and he's still operational. And Mama tells the neighbor, we're so lucky, Johnny didn't hurt himself. Nothing happened to Johnny, but actually things have happened to Johnny, and various of Johnny's muscles have been displaced slightly, so that Johnny, in continuing to move around, to run around, to climb around, is using a different muscular pattern. And that different muscular pattern places itself on top of what should be the effective muscular pattern of the uninjured body. But it all talks to the seeing eye of what has gone on to displace the muscular patterns within the body.
What I can tell is that there is injury over here on this shoulder, both in the way it moves and from the way the tissue feels.
In the cycle of 10 sessions, which is basic to this work, there is a complete overseeing of what is going on in terms of the muscular and fascial patterns of the body. What we are interested in doing is setting muscular groupings where they belong in order to work most efficiently in the gravity, within the gravity field, in order to support the body with the least effort. That means that you have to induce a balance. You induce this balance by getting two sides symmetrical, front and back symmetrical, inside and outside symmetrical. And if you're trained to see it, you can see to what extent you have succeeded in doing this through the changes in the outer contour. This becomes apparent in our before and after 10 pictures. This young lady is a model in a class in Miami, and actually sent to us by a children's clinic. She's only about 17 years old, perhaps. And you see here how the contour of her back and the contour of her abdomen show the fact, display the fact, that her lumbar structure is much too far anterior. As a result, she's compensating with these buttocks much too far back. Whereas at the end of 10 hours, so much of this has changed. The lumbar structure has come back. Because the lumbar structure comes back, the hip structure drops, and that buttock structure becomes much more normalized. Her neck begins to sit up on her spine, over the spine, supported by the underlying spine. Here you have the neck structure, and it makes you suspect that it's breaking. There seems to be no support below it. A Rolfing, a structural integration session, demonstrates that a body is a plastic medium. It demonstrates that this plastic medium can be changed back to the model which we accept as being energy-wise a more efficient unit. In order for a more efficient unit to come from a body, that body must be arranged in a symmetrical pattern around a vertical line. You have to deal with the body as an aggregate of blocks. You have to change the positioning of the blocks so that the center of gravity in one is virtually above the center of gravity in another.
Can you feel that moving back there?
Yeah. Feels funny.
Can you tell the difference as you breathe?
Yeah.
How does it feel different?
I can breathe deeper.
There are many imposed breathing patterns imposed by many schools of thinking about bodies. Our own school believes absolutely sincerely and one-pointedly that one must not impose a breathing pattern, that as the ribs, the spine, the pelvis, and so forth become normally related, what we consider a normal breathing pattern emerges and can be seen. Most people think of bodies as being collections of muscles. Rolfists don't see it that way. All muscles are wrapped in a tissue which is named fascia. And for those of you who don't understand this word fascia, let me suggest that you think of an orange that you cut across the equator, and you see it and then divided into many segments. Now, the divisions between the segments correspond to the divisions in animal tissue that we call fascia. This is an interesting tissue that is largely collagen. And collagen is important to us because of its very special characteristics.